everybody. It's Amanda here from DV Live. So we are doing another test run of our pre-record. And so today's actually Tuesday, but you guys are seeing this at 5 p.m. on Wednesday, right before the city council meeting. So today from College Community Services, CCS, right? Yep. Okay. We have women from the Hope Center. We have Miss Deborah Edwards, the office manager. Welcome. Jessica Smith, peer support specialist, and Odessa Newman-Staples, the lead peer support specialist.
That's me.
Let me tell you guys, that's a lot. This is a lot of the first introduction, so I'm a little like, who am I going to get this right? So thank you for joining today.
So happy to be here. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah. I mean, right before this episode, we were chit-chatting about everything, and definitely stay tuned. There's probably going to be a follow-up episode to this. So before we dive into everything that you are doing for the community and those you serve, I want to know a little bit about who you are, what you do, and a fun fact about yourselves. So whoever wants to go first, just go.
Odessa, you're first.
Ooh.
Wow, just put her on the spot.
I think the funny thing about me is that people can put me on the spot all the time, and I just respond. I just roll over just like I just did. Anyway,
you're going under the bus like that.
Just throw me under the bus.
There you go.
Anyway, I have been with the Hope Center about a year and a half, a little more.
Okay.
And I absolutely love it. I see so much benefit for the community with us being there, and I wish I had started this career a long time ago. I retired from the base back in 2004.
Okay.
Do not try to count my age, because you'd have to count the years I went barefooted, So anyway, it's just good to be here.
Well, thank you for being here. What's a fun fact about you?
The fun fact. The fun fact about me is I don't have any fun. I'm too busy working.
Shut your mouth.
What? One of my, I should say, like my mentors, advisors always told me, because I was like, there's nothing fun about me. I'm always doing something. They're like, then that means your entire life you're living is fun. And I was like,
I would have to
I agree with that.
I have to second that emotion.
Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you.
What do you say all the time?
Too blessed to be stressed.
There you go.
Yes. It's so good. So good. Alrighty.
Okay, I am Jessica. I have been with the center just since April, so relatively new, but very excited to be on board working along with everyone. Fun fact about myself. The first thing coming to mind is that I'm like a really big Disney nerd. Like, I don't know anything Disney related, especially Star Wars and Minnie Mouse, though. I have like way too much stuff in my house that's like Disney related.
So you said the two special words, Star Wars. I don't know if you've met our CEO, Eric Bruin.
I haven't met him in person, no.
Okay, we'll definitely have to swing by his office and I'll show you his wall. He's such a big Star Wars nerd. We actually did an entire episode on May the 4th of Star Wars trivia, everything. Awesome. So maybe we'll bring you back next year for a championship round of you and him versus each other.
Okay.
The only thing I love about Disney is the churros and the corn dogs. California Adventure is my jam.
Yeah. Can't go wrong with good churro.
Yeah.
So my name is Deborah Edwards, and I'm the office manager at College Community Services. And Hope Center is a part of College Community Services, and I really enjoy my job. I've been there. It'll be 5 years in September. And my job is very stressful because I'm an office manager, but I'm also a substance abuse counselor. But the best part of my job is that I get to see people heal. I love seeing people reunited with their families. A fun fact about me is that I have 6 grandchildren.
There's no way.
And that's what everybody always says. I actually do.
No way.
I have 3 that are all the age of 2.
Oh,
they all are wild. 2 years old and 10 days apart. Twins and 1 child that my daughter had. So, yeah, they're like the light of my life, and I love them so much. So that's a fun fact. Nobody ever believes it, though.
Yeah, I'm like, no way.
I started early.
But then you got to enjoy it all, and you are now.
Yeah,
so that's always exciting. Mm-hmm. Well, welcome, ladies. Thank you. I guess I mean, a little fun fact about me that I love always to say is I have 2 different ears. I have one that's like a little flat elf ear, like little elf, like, what is it? Lord of the Rings style. And one that's a normal human ear.
Oh,
I see that. I see that. I see it.
yeah.
Don't be zooming in on that, Paul. I don't know if I cleaned my ears out today. But considering what's on the table and what we're talking about today, another thing is that my husband is a recovering addict. And he's coming up on 2 years clean. So I'm super excited to hear about the services that you guys provide for everyone locally.
Miracle.
So
Yes.
he's a wild one. It's fine. But he is. It's a miracle. And every day, like, so understanding a little bit more about what you guys do and who you serve is definitely beneficial.
Yes, definitely.
So let's dive on in. For those of us watching or those who don't know you guys or who have never heard of you, what is the Hope Center? What is College Community Services? And is it open to the public? Is it referral? What is it all?
So the Hope Center is a Kern County Behavioral Health and Recovery Services Consumer Family Learning Center. Big mouthful. Basically, what it is it's a center where any adult age 18 and over can drop in and they can speak to some one-on-one and get support. They can attend groups. We'll dive into that later about all the different kind of groups
Is
we
it
have.
like counseling support or?
So the Hope Center is free and
It's
open to the
peer-based.
public. It's peer-based, so everyone who works there has gone through their own struggles in the past, and they use those struggles that they've overcome to relate to the people that come in and seek services.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So CCS, College Community Services next door, actually has, your licensed therapists and recovery coordinators. So they're more like, insurance and appointment based. But the Hope Center is, drop in, come in for groups, come in to just use the computers,
And before we get too far in, where are you guys located?
We are located at 1400 North Norma. We are in Suite 137, so that's going to be the same parking lot of Schooners.
Okay.
So that's where we're at. We're open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's us.
The best part about the Hope Center is that it is peer-based. And so somebody that's coming in, they can talk to somebody that has been where they are and can help them get through what they're going through. So that's what's so great about the Hope Center. And you don't have to have an appointment. You don't have to have insurance, and you can just be anybody just walking in. We have a lot of homeless people that come in, and Miss Odessa is really awesome about making food. She makes food for everybody. And we have this amazing group of people that go to the garden, the community garden in the community, and they get fruits and vegetables, and they cook them at the Hope Center, which is amazing. So they're also using the resources in our community and showing them how to use those resources in our community, which is important. And so if a person comes in and they're in crisis or they're dealing with some kind of mental health crisis, then they just walk them right over to us next door. And we have an officer of the day, which is a recovery coordinator or therapist that is available at all times to be able to talk to them and walk them through that crisis that they're going through and then get them set up for services.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic. So is there a 24-hour crisis line available?
Yes, we do have a 24-hour crisis line. I don't have the number on me, but I will get it before we're done.
Yeah, and then I can
it's on there,
definitely link to that either in the
it's right
comments
here.
in the
It's
production.
1-877-300-4738. But if you're in crisis at any time, if you're a client or if you're not, you can call CCS anytime and speak with the officer of the day, which is a recovery coordinator or a therapist, at 760-499-7406. Anytime, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5.
Thank you. That's fantastic to know. Does Hope Center stand specifically for anything? Is it an acronym?
Yes and no. Our members kind of like to come up with different things themselves. One of our groups is like an art group, and so sometimes we do like, what does hope mean to you? So they kind of spell it out. But a big one that gets passed around a lot is helping our people excel.
Oh, that's
So
amazing.
That's one that we hear a lot.
That one pulls at the heart. Yeah, definitely. I like that it's open to interpretation for wherever it meets the person where they're at.
Yeah, definitely.
So why is the center and the services important to the community? I know that's a very broad question.
And because it is so broad, I have written it out.
Oh, okay, here we go.
The Hope Center is particularly important in a rural community such as Ridgecrest because our resources are very limited.
Yes.
The center serves as a day drop-in, and it's a safe haven for recovering members of the community who are on a recovery path or recovery journey. It's a safe place to meet with others who may have lived experience with mental health and or substance abuse issues. They come from a variety of backgrounds and life challenges. At the Hope Center, we strive to provide educational activities that serve to promote overall mental wellness. We coordinate with other local resources such as food pantries, medical providers, etc., and we connect members with these resources by providing information and even do referrals. The CAPK Oasis Family Resource Center is one of those in which we are partnering with to offer parent nurturing classes, which is a 12-week-long course that meets the requirements for court-mandated parenting classes. So that's a new big one for us.
I was about to say, I was like, Miss Odessa, I'm going to cut you off. That is amazing.
Such a need in our community.
Yes, so much. So we have a computer lab. We help with resumes and help people apply for jobs.
Oh, that's something I see a lot. Like people always reaching out and they're like, how do I build a resume? What do I do?
Right.
At the cinemas, so as the assistant general manager of there, we would always say, we don't have applications, just turn in a resume.
Okay.
And the amount of people that either were like, I've never done one, I don't know what to do, baffled me.
Right.
So that's a fantastic resource.
It is, and we find that once people get that technique of how to do it, they're off and running.
Oh, yeah.
And the other thing that's been a real big plus for us, too, is helping people to get their food handler's certificate.
Oh.
Right there online. They leave with a certificate in their hands. They can go to any fast foods place or restaurant and apply for work.
Amazing.
Right.
And we just recently started 3 Narcotics Anonymous meetings during the day that have not been able to do that. Narcotics Anonymous has not been able to do that in many years because they have a really hard time getting people to allow them to have meetings. So now there are 3 meetings a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon for people to go and get help with their drug problem. So.
And that's nice to have a different time frame. I know sometimes people are constricted to the time restraints or they can't make it, things like that. So
Well, right now, the only NA meetings that are available in the community are at night, other than the ones that we have Monday, Wednesday, and Friday now.
Right.
Oh.
And there's a lot more for Alcoholics Anonymous, but Narcotics Anonymous, it's very restringent because of the stigma that's attached to people that are struck in addiction.
And that's so true, Debbie, the way you say that, because of the kind of the community that we live in. We have some very high-top personnel in very high-top positions, and they or family members may have challenges, and the last thing they want is the stigma attached to whether or not their loved one may have that crisis, so they stay in the dark, and those people don't get help.
And they keep their family member in the dark, too, and they try to hide it. And even we're going to talk about overdose in a few minutes, but there's even overdoses. They hide their child's overdose, and they're not vocal about it. So then people don't think that there's any problem here in Ridgecrest when there really is, you know?
For me personally, and this is something that's out there, or not out there, but my husband, well, prior to him being my husband, we've been on and off for decades. He's my person. But during his addiction, I made the hard choice to step away from him, and I took our son with us. And it was one of those, didn't want to talk about it, don't want to know. And for 3 years, we just literally lived separate lives. Had no idea what he was doing. He had no idea what we were doing. And it was hard.
Absolutely.
Very hard.
And it was a very rocky path to get back to where we are today because of that. It's a lot of the anger and hiding and shame and guilt and seeing him live so freely and open and talking about that, it completely changed my outlook to see people going through recovery.
Absolutely.
Living out loud in recovery is so
Yes.
important.
Exactly.
I love
So
that
important.
phrase.
I love
mean,
it.
Phrase.
And for people to see what they go through, for addicts and recovering alcoholics and everything, to see what they go through, I'm like, it's hard. And I totally understand. I've also seen the other side of where people are manipulating it, but to see the people that truly embrace and want to change and do change, it's so eye-opening and so positive. And I think this community is in need of resources like this for them to
definitely.
flourish.
Absolutely. Yeah. So Jessica is going to tell us about our calendar and groups.
Okay, and I think we do have a graphic for that as well.
Got a picture of the calendar to put up.
Yes, we also have Paul from Raw Media Pros over here helping us out.
Yay.
So the major thing about our calendar and all the groups that we hold is that our center is actually governed by a member-led advisory board that are elected by the members, and that advisory board gets to decide, what groups are on the schedule, what times and days work best for the members, and they also, vote on field trips and other activities that we participate in and that sort of thing.
Okay.
So everything that's on our schedule.
You want to go back to that calendar graphic? There we go. Yeah.
So everything that's on our
Oh, I see
schedule.
coffee on there.
Yeah, is something that, is something that a member of the community asked for. So that's what's great. And if you see something that's not on there that you feel like we could use, come to an advisory meeting, tell us, we'll vote on it, we'll throw it on there for next
Or if
month.
you have some kind of skill, we would love for you to come and show us your skill. We have a couple people that have really awesome skills, like yoga with Mandy. It's
Yeah.
awesome. Completely free, and kickboxing with Chris. How much money people spend to be able to do that kind of stuff,
Yep.
and it's completely free. So
Yeah.
Do you guys do any therapy, like pet therapies or anything like that?
We don't have anything like that going on right now.
we can't have pets,
Yeah.
unfortunately, and we can't have anybody under the age of 18. Those are the only two restrictions that we
Okay.
have.
Okay.
Yeah, because I forgot to mention earlier, we're a county-funded program, so we do have, certain regulations and stuff that we have to follow.
It's
that
MSHA
way.
funds that we get from tax dollars from people that make a certain amount of money, and then it's taken off their taxes. So it comes from their tax dollars.
Okay.
Yeah. So, there are certain regulations you have to follow, but we also have groups that we've held in the past that visit at the park and things like that. So then we're not limited by just a building and we can do all sorts of different things. But our groups,
So I will also link to the graphic of the calendar for this month. Right now we're just talking about August. So
Yeah.
I think we're having a little bit of back and forth glitching with the screen. So,
That's all good.
but what are some of the classes or groups that you guys were about to mention?
Yeah, so we have all sorts of different groups. So our groups are member-led discussion groups that are non-judgmental, where our members draw from their experiences and use their strengths to help themselves and others. We share information on all sorts of different mental health challenges and substance abuse challenges that people are going through, such as depression, anxiety, and addiction to substances as well. We have support groups like the schizophrenia support group, and we also have a parenting support group that's kicking off. The parenting support group's one that I'm really excited about because we're partnering with a lot of different people in the community to put that on. Odessa mentioned CAPK and doing the parent nurturing classes. That's something separate because those are like the court mandated ones that people can go to. But the parenting support group is going to be people coming in talking about like kindergarten readiness, stranger safety, nutrition, all sorts of different topics. And we're going to have different people come and speak on it. And it's just going to be a really awesome group.
So with that, I know you mentioned no one under 18. What if they have their children for parent groups? What happens then?
So they'll have to find, a babysitter.
Outside sitters. Okay.
Yeah. So for those groups, we have discussed in the future possibly meeting at parks or something like that. That way they can bring kids and we're not in, the building. So that's something that we're kind of talking about in the future. But the parenting support group's kind of a new one. So we're just kind of testing the waters, seeing what people are interested in, what the community wants and needs. And then we can expand from there and have specifically a mom's coffee group that meets at the park, We can do all
Even a
sorts of
mom
different
dog
things.
walking group
Right.
or dad dog walking group, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's all sorts
Single
of things we
dads,
can
too.
do. This is just kind of testing the waters. It's going to talk about certain things and then also have, just discussion time where people can, vent, drink some coffee and get advice.
And
give
I assume,
advice.
I'm just going to disclaimer it though, or verify and confirm. It's all confidential. What's said
yes.
in there is
It stays
it's a
there.
safe space, everything.
Absolutely,
Awesome.
yeah. We keep using the word member, and member doesn't mean like you're paying any dues or anything like that. Member just means that you've come, you sign a form that we have that basically is just saying that you'll respect the property and respect the other members and the staff as well. And
You're
that
part of
includes
that.
confidentiality.
And I was going to say that makes them feel included. It's
Yeah.
so nice to
It makes
feel
them
that
feel
way.
a part of, and that they're, it's like even, other places you go to, like a golf club or something, and you're a member of it. It makes you feel like you're important and that you're thought of and you're remembered and all those kinds of things.
And it holds some value then.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
if you feel included and you're a member, you respect things more and
Right.
you
yeah.
put
Help
more
make
into it.
decisions.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a big thing with us is, because everything's peer led, we're equals. So you're not our client. We're not your counselor. We're your peer. And we're here to, support you, build you up, give you the tools that you need to
Yeah.
excel in
That's
life. and
fantastic.
succeed. We're not here to do things for you, We're here to teach you how to do it, help you get there, and,
Give you experience, strength, and hope.
One of
Exactly.
the things one of the things that we always say is that you're not here for us to fix you. We don't fix people here. We give you the skills to help meet that journey, fix yourself. We don't diagnose. We don't want to know what your diagnosis is. None of our business. But we're here to help you where we can.
Love that. Again, it goes back to meeting people where they're at and,
Well, some people are too afraid to even come to get help from a therapist or a counselor. So this is their first stop. They go and they talk to somebody there. And sometimes it's months or some before we even get them to come in and see us. So over at the main building. So they're it, for them to come talk to. And then, they see signs or things going on with the client, then they, inform us and then we can connect with them.
well, and I think it might help build that relationship and strengthen like that loyalty and see like, okay, are you really here for me type of
Yeah.
opening that door and that building that confidence in them.
Yeah, 100%. And if they do want to move on and, seek professional counseling next door, then they're always welcome to come and hang out with us before or after appointments,
I think
the
it
door
helps
doesn't
take that
close once
pressure.
they see a therapist, we're always there for them.
Instead of being like, you have to be fixed, you have to do this, you have to do that. It's open to their choice.
We don't even feel like that at the main building at CCS. Like, we don't fix people. We help people find themselves and be able to fix themselves.
Yeah.
But you can't fix anyone. They have to fix themselves.
Absolutely.
Very true. So what's up next that we are going to be talking about? I know you guys have so much on your calendar this month. Another one was the guest speaker Friday luncheon. Luncheon?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Odessa always makes some really
I
amazing
was gonna say,
food.
Odessa, are you cooking?
always
Someone
does.
mentioned food earlier, so
Food, yeah, we always serve lunch, and it's all free.
okay. So who wants to speak on this one?
Jessica.
She's getting you back for that
Jessica
first
and I
one.
were going over our PowerPoints this morning,
This is
and she's
something
like, "You can talk
amazing
about
she came
this.
up
You can
with.
talk about this." And I'm
Okay.
like, "Okay." No, but the Guest Speaker Friday event, it's a monthly thing that we do. The last Friday of every month at 1:00.
Okay.
We try to find different people in the community to come in and talk about different topics. I like to do like a Google search at the beginning of the month and see like what awareness month it is, that sort of thing. Like I believe that next month is Suicide Awareness Month.
Yep.
So we're probably going to be highlighting that in September, that
We
sort
have
of
some
thing.
awesome things planned for next month, too.
Yeah, we do. We have lots of fun stuff coming up. Maybe we'll come back and talk about that later.
I was gonna say definitely.
Yeah.
Or send me the calendar for next month, and I can actually put that up too. Then
Yeah, 100%. But so this one is on August 27th, once again at 1:00. We'll have speakers coming. Deborah is actually going to talk at this one because she also leads the Ridgecrest Addiction Awareness Group. So she's going to be talking about overdose awareness. And then Nick boy is going to be coming. He leads up the Women's Shelter and the Veterans Advisory Council. So he's going to be coming in and just discussing the different things that they provide for the community.
Okay.
So that's going to be an interesting one.
I think they have the veterans, is it stand down event?
Next
Yep.
month.
Okay.
Yes, we are going to be participating in that as well.
Awesome.
We're going to have a booth or something there. And yeah, I've never been to it before, so I'm excited to go to that event.
I think that's another necessity is veterans having a resource to go
Oh,
to.
definitely.
Yes, 100%. We love our veterans, 100%. And like I said, if the community was interested in more veteran support groups, we could always put on something like that. But another thing that we're big on is referring people out to services that already exist and not just doubling up on things unnecessarily.
It's so important.
Because we don't want to take away from anything else the community is offering and has going on. So if we see, you're interested in this, here's where this is,
Well, I think
so
that
we do a lot
helps
of that kind of stuff too.
keep the resources here locally. Like you're saying, it's a rural community. If an organization isn't getting, I don't want to say like limelight, but if they aren't getting used, then we lose that resource.
Yeah,
Very true.
Yes.
100%.
Oh,
But yeah, so that is our guest speaker luncheon. So that one's going to be fun. But like I said, last Friday of every month, we have, different speakers, different menu,
okay.
but it's always a fun time.
And 1 p.m. on August 27th with Odessa cooking things up.
Yep.
I got it.
Okay, perfect. And then the last event is the Overdose Awareness.
Yeah, the Overdose
Vigil?
Awareness Candlelight Vigil. We're actually partnering with Ridgecrest Addiction Awareness to every year, Ridgecrest Addiction Awareness, except for the last 2 years because of COVID, Ridgecrest Addiction Awareness has always done an Overdose Awareness event on the 31st. The 31st is considered to be Overdose Awareness Day. And so every year we've always done like a Candlelight Vigil where people can come and recognize their loved ones that they've lost. But then also for people who have survived, overcome their addiction from their overdose. There's so many people that have overdosed. And I mean, I can't even tell you how many times people have come to me and they're like, I've overdosed 10 times. And I'm like, you're a miracle. Like, you're alive. There is a purpose for you.
Right.
And you need to find that purpose. Yeah. But if, we just need to be able to recover out loud. And that's a lot what this has to do with is being able to recover out loud and people being able to talk about it, not have to just keep it silent. So that's what the Candlelight Vigil is mainly about. So we're asking people to just bring a pair of shoes for a loved one that may have passed away or a pair of shoes for themselves if they're still here and they, overcame an addiction or if they're still in their addiction, because I can't tell you how many people are still in their addiction and are struggling with heroin, and fentanyl is a very, very, very scary drug. And it's getting more and more prominent in our little community. And you would not be amazed at the people that are struggling with opiate addiction. And anybody can struggle from it. Anyone, right. Some people think that they're immune to it. They're not. Nobody's immune to, especially opiates are so addicting. And so many people go to the doctor for a broken arm and they get opiates and they've never gotten them before. And here they got them
And that's
now.
something like painkillers, stuff like that for people.
Yep.
And then they start taking this medication that the doctor said you should take. And then they get addicted. So then, they stop taking it and then they start getting sick, fever, chills, sick to their stomach, but then they take that pill again and it goes away. And it's so easy to become addicted to that. And then they're judged for that. And then it just becomes a spiral. And it's not something that happens overnight, something that happens in a progression. And a lot of people don't realize it. And there's a lot of people that are in a closet about it. So having something like this allows people to be able to be vocal about it and talk about it and not be so silent. I just wish more people would talk about it and would come out and just be real about, their loved one that may have passed away, because they're embarrassed. Nobody should ever be embarrassed. I just say nobody should ever be embarrassed. And I've had many people come and talk to me and they're like, I don't want anybody to know. And I'm like, I'll never tell anyone, but know that you're not living up to your loved one's name by keeping it a secret.
So real quick, as I'm looking about the bring a pair of shoes, is that like a donation of shoes or just a memory?
Just a pair of shoes to represent them.
Okay.
And then if they want to, they can bring a collage, like a pictures or just one picture in a picture frame. Some people have brought in toys or things like, that their children have had that, they wanted their parent to have or something like that. Whatever you want to bring that signifies your person, that's your person. That's your person that you lost. And even if they're, still in their addiction, you have still lost them right now. And so bring a pair of shoes for them. And, I, for Ridgecrest Addiction Awareness, I pray over everybody and I pray over every pair of shoes. And we're also asking any churches that want to come and, just be there, just to be a support for anyone to pray for them, during this hard time for them. Anybody that can come, anybody wants to come. And I'm going to speak that day. That's why we're having it on that day. So I really want just everybody to be able to come and see the great people that have either overcome their addiction and overcome an overdose, or the people that have lost, because they're real people.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people don't even realize how close it could be at home, like in the home or a family member or anything like that.
Yeah, I can share a quick experience, not to belabor the time, but
no, absolutely.
It was July 21st, 2 years ago. And I heard this knock at the door, and I thought for sure it was my grandson, Anthony. They call him A-Will.
Oh, okay. I graduated with him.
Well, I'm glad that we're having this conversation.
Yes. I've known him since 6th grade.
A-Will was all-state running back for the football team at girls. So anyway, I'll get back to this knock at the door, and I get out of the bed looking like the 6 o'clock witch, hair rollers and everything. And I'm going to the door, and I said, Anthony, I am not going to make you breakfast this morning.
Oh, this is 6 a.m.
Yeah, right. And the voice came back, County Coroner. My heart dropped. Anthony died going between Partners and Furies. Someone put fentanyl in his drink. He left a 9-year-old. And if you would calculate the number of people we have lost from that class of 2006 from drugs and alcohol, you would be amazed.
Yes,
We have to do something about it. Mm-hmm. We have to.
It's hard. I mean, any loss of life is hard.
Oh, yeah.
The last few years, only because I am part of that graduating class, just at Burroughs itself.
Right.
It has been hard.
It has been.
I've never seen all of us come together so quickly, too, in the amount of people and support for families, for people, everybody.
They were there for Anthony.
But it's still something that it happens, and it has happened, like you mentioned, about like drug overdose and even suicide.
Yes, very much so.
If people had more outlets to speak or be welcome to.
Not afraid.
Yeah.
Not afraid or better trained. I wish I had been better trained at recognizing some of the challenges he was having. Mm-hmm. And I've raised a bunch of kids, but nothing that covered what I've learned since I became a trained peer support specialist. Mm-hmm. But I went out to the cemetery the other morning, and he's interred there, and I slapped him right in the face. I said, if you were back here, I would be arrested by CPS. Oh. But anyway, yeah.
I'm sure he appreciated that. He knows it's coming from a loving place.
I hope so. But Debbie and that whole group, the whole team, have been there beside me. When they least they don't even know that they're supporting me or how they are, but it's just a smile or, you know, a little wink or whatever. And, you know, they're in my heart for that. I really appreciate it.
Oh, that's good. I mean, just like the energy you guys put off just coming in here, I can tell you guys are a great like environment to be in and supportive of each other.
Yeah.
So
It's funny because somebody, I met with this lady today and she was like, somebody referred her to come talk to me. And it's crazy how many people like just show up at the office like, oh, somebody told me to come talk to you. And I'm like, okay. And so she came and she's like, I've heard so much about you. And I just want you to know that I'm so proud of you. And I was like, that was so awesome to me because this is coming from somebody that's struggling, you know? And I said to her, I was like, you know, I appreciate that. I really do, because you don't hear that enough. You know, you don't hear that you're working so hard to help other people. And she said, yeah, well, I can tell your passion for helping people. And that's why I came to talk to you. And I think that that's what I want everyone to know about the Hope Center.
Yes.
And to know about CCS is that every person that works there, we all have passion. We want to see people survive this epidemic of addiction. Yep. We want to see people overcome their mental health illness because it can happen. And we don't do it alone. You know, you can't do anything alone. One thing I have to teach people all the time in my substance use groups is asking for help.
it's hard. I mean, even
It's the easiest thing to do, but the hardest thing to ask.
for anyone, even just, you know, living day-to-day life, like normal day-to-day life, it's hard for someone to ask for help. So I can only imagine mental struggles, making another barrier, another hurdle to just be like, I need help.
Well, they're afraid of being told no, or being afraid of being judged because of what
The judgment.
And you have to remember too, as especially people that are in addiction, they have this feeling inside of them that they're not good enough. One thing that people say all the time is, I'm a piece of crap. And I'm like, you're not a piece of crap. What you're doing is not okay and is probably crappy, but you're not a piece of crap. And they have that vision of themselves that they are not good enough. So that's why they don't ask for help. But they're all, you know, we're all people. We're all human.
Well, thank you, ladies, for providing this service and opening the doors for people to just come as they are.
You're you know, just your warmth really embraces me. And when I look at statistics, like Kern County, we're up 31% opioid overdose in 1 year from March to March.
What's that, fentanyl?
And we've got work to do, all of us.
Absolutely. And leading into that, what are the ways that community can help support the Hope Center, like volunteerism, donations? I know you guys talked about if there's a group or a skill that they can bring to help people.
Yeah, absolutely. First and foremost, just come educate yourself, learn about the importance of recovery, and help break the stigma surrounding mental health and substance abuse. So first and foremost, just, you know, come, show up. If you are interested in volunteering, definitely, you know, stop by, attend a couple groups that interest you, talk to me, Odessa, Deb. You know, we can always, you know, use volunteers and people who have, you know, certain skill sets, passions. Absolutely. I mean, if you do feel inclined, we do accept, you know, certain donations. Cash donations go into a treasury box that the advisory board votes on how to use that money. So it can be like center wants, special things that they want, money for some of the events, money for food for some of the events we put on, and expenses for field trips and things like that. So, but yeah, first and foremost, you know, just come educate yourself, learn, have an open mind. That's the number one thing, because that's what we're all about.
That's the purpose.
Yes, we hold the hope. We hold the hope.
Yeah. That's something we learned about in peer support training a lot is, you know, we hold the hope for people while they don't have any hope. So while they're going through it and they feel hopeless, we're that person that gets to hold on to that hope
And I know
until they're ready to take it back.
it's a weird thing to say, but thank you, everyone at that team, for bearing that weight for now. So that, I know that has to be heavy, that has to be hard, but thank you guys for being so strong to do that. Everyone at the Hope Center and everyone at CCS, thank you.
Yeah, we have a great team supporting us. So
We're like a family.
Absolutely.
Even over at the main building, like we all are just like a family. And people are like, yeah, all right, whatever, but I mean, we really are. And when one of our family members is struggling or something happening in their family, the rest of us do. And we're all like pulled together to try to help each other out. We're very supportive of each other.
Yeah.
It takes a village.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
So thank you again. I will be sure to link and drop the 3 graphics I have for the calendar of August, the speaker luncheon, as well as the Overdose Awareness Vigil. And then I'll be bugging you for September's calendar as
Sounds
well.
good, yeah. We also are on Facebook, CCS. Pathways, yeah, Ridgecrest.
Okay, good to know.
We try to post our calendars
Add
and
us
stuff on there too.
Facebook.
So
I'll be sure when this
Ads as a brand.
premieres on our Facebook page, I'll be sure to add and tag you guys from there too. So anyone watching has a direct link to the resources that they have or communication, numbers, all that for them.
sounds great.
So thank you again for being here.
you.
And thank you guys all for watching tonight. I will be sure to link to City of Ridgecrest City Council meeting, which is coming up at 6:00. So be sure to check that out on YouTube and have a wonderful rest of the night, guys.
Thank you.
Bye,
you.
thank you.